From our Washington, D.C. studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Hena Zuberi. Our top story for today. The American Civil Liberties Union, or ACLU, has filed a lawsuit against President Donald Trump's executive order aimed at ending birthright citizenship. Trump signed the controversial order, citing the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 during his inaugural speech this week. He has vowed to use federal and state law enforcement to target foreign gangs and criminals. The ACLU called the move unconstitutional and a betrayal of core American values. Executive Director Anthony Romero said it would create a, quote, permanent subclass of people born in the U.S. without full rights. He has promised to fight the order, calling it an egregious overreach and expressing confidence in the ACLU's legal challenge. Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib also criticized the order, saying the 14th Amendment, which was ratified 157 years ago, guarantees birthright citizenship. She stressed that the president cannot override the Constitution. Former National Security Advisor John Bolton has revealed that President Donald Trump has abruptly withdrawn his Secret Service protection. The Justice Department charged an Iranian official in 2022 with plotting to kill Bolton. This was likely in retaliation for the 2020 assassination of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani during Trump's first term. Bolton expressed disappointment but said he was not surprised by Trump's decision. He contrasts Trump's move with former President Joe Biden, who extended the protection in 2021 despite Bolton's criticism of Biden's policies. Bolton pointed to recent threats against Trump himself, emphasizing ongoing dangers. Experts say the decision to end protection raises questions about security priorities for former officials facing credible threats. Following President Donald Trump's directive to, quote, finish the border wall, construction was resumed in Tijuana, Mexico. Workers began replacing the final segment of temporary fencing with 30-foot panels. Supported by the Defense Department, the project has been paused due to a court injunction. The wall connects two segments constructed in 2023 and extends to the Pacific Ocean alongside the Tijuana-San Diego border. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has promised a strong response if President Donald Trump imposes a 25% tariff on Canadian goods. Speaking in the province of Quebec, Trudeau called Trump a skilled negotiator, but stressed Canada's readiness to defend its interests. He highlighted Canada's importance to the U.S. economy, supplying resources like steel and aluminum and critical minerals. Trudeau emphasized the goal of avoiding tariffs, but warned that if implemented, Canada's response would be swift and robust. Addressing concerns about Trump's policies, Trudeau noted Canada had navigated similar challenges during Trump's first term. He vowed to protect Canadian workers and maintain a strong economic relationship with the U.S., despite the unpredictability of Trump's administration. Trump announced plans for the tariffs, citing issues such as drug flow and illegal immigration. Trudeau reiterated his commitment to defending Canada's interests while seeking a win-win solution. Diverse voter backlash over Gaza war shifted U.S. election. Details come after the break. Stay tuned and we'll be right back. Welcome back. A new study reveals that Israel's war on Gaza drove diverse voter groups away from the Democratic Party. Swing states, which are critical for Democratic victories, also experience a significant shift. The poll by YouGov notes that the impact extended beyond Arab Muslims. Black Americans linked Gaza's plight to racial injustices in the U.S., amplifying discontent with the party. Progressive Jewish voters and young activists also condemned U.S. support for Israel, citing a failure to uphold human rights. Hispanic voters who have traditionally been supportive of progressive causes shifted to Trump, viewing Gaza as a symbol of U.S. imperialism. Experts say this defection highlights the interconnectedness of foreign policy and issues related to equity within the U.S. In Michigan, voter turnout dropped in Democratic areas and the city of Dearborn flipped to Trump and third-party candidates, marking a seismic shift from 2020. Trump and the Green Party candidate Jill Stein captured 70% of the vote, flipping a city Biden easily won in 2020. Among those who voted for Biden in that election, 29% cited Gaza as their top issue, compared to 24% prioritizing the economy. The past 24 hours saw dozens of aid trucks cross into Gaza through the Karam Abu Salem border. The ceasefire and prisoner exchange deal between Israel and Hamas took effect on Sunday, suspending Israel's genocidal war on Gaza. Under the deal, some 600 aid trucks will be allowed into Gaza on a daily basis, along with the reopening of Gaza's Rafah crossing with Egypt on the day 7 of the agreement. The three-phase deal includes a prisoner exchange and sustained calm, aiming for a permanent truce and the withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza. In related news, as Gaza sees a pause in attacks, Israeli assaults continue unabated in the West Bank. Israel killed at least 10 Palestinians during a 2-day military raid in Jenin, with many others wounded. Among the victims was Ahmed Shayeb, who was shot while driving with his wife and 3 children. A viral video captured the attack. The Israeli incursion forced more than 600 Palestinians to flee the Jenin refugee camp. Reports suggest the operation aims to satisfy political agreements within Israel's government. Israeli media says Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu allegedly promised the attack to appease Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich, who opposed the Gaza ceasefire. Since October 7, 2023, Israel has killed 870 Palestinians, including 177 children in the West Bank, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry. Israeli violence injured 6,700 Palestinians and displaced 6,729 people. In addition, 13,572 people were arrested and over 2,000 structures demolished by Israeli forces and Jewish settlers. UN Special Rapporteur Francesca Albanese warned that unchecked Israeli action could escalate further violence beyond Gaza, calling it a potential genocide. Civil defense teams in Gaza have recovered 120 decomposed bodies from the rubble of destroyed buildings in just 2 days. This has brought the death toll of Palestinians killed by Israel to 47,107. 111,047 Palestinians have been reported wounded since October 7, 2023, and more than 11,000 people are still missing. The International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants in November for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant for crimes against humanity in Gaza. The Palestinian Authority has slammed President Donald Trump's decision to lift sanctions on violent Israeli settlers. Trump reversed measures imposed by former President Joe Biden last year, which froze assets of settler groups and barred U.S. dealings with them. Palestinian spokesman Nabil Abu Rudaini warned the move would fuel more violence. On Monday, settlers attacked Palestinian villages, burning homes and vehicles. Rising violence follows Israel's deadly war on Gaza, where more than 47,000 have been killed and over 100,000 injured. The West Bank has seen 850 Palestinian deaths since October. A ceasefire in Gaza began Sunday, but tensions remain. In July, the International Court of Justice declared Israel's occupation of Palestinian land illegal and demanded the settlements be removed. Palestine is calling on the international community to act to stop settler violence. The interim Taliban administration in Afghanistan has secured the release of an Afghan citizen in exchange for 2 American nationals. The Afghan Foreign Ministry said citizen Khan Mohammed has been released by the U.S. and sent back to Kabul. He was traded for Americans Ryan Colbelt and William McKenty, who were on their way home. Mohammed, who was serving a life sentence given by a U.S. court in 2008, was captured nearly 2 decades ago in Afghanistan's Nangarhar province by U.S. forces. The ministry lauded Qatar for playing its role in the case as Mohammed was flown into the country's capital, Doha. The Taliban interim administration said it views the exchange as a good example of resolving issues through dialogue. Corbelt was detained in 2022, while little is known about McKenty and details remain scant. At least 16 people were killed and 18 injured in artillery shelling by the Rapid Support Forces, or RSF, on the Abu Shouk displacement camp in western Sudan. The Abu Shouk Emergency Committee, composed of activists and relief volunteers, issued a statement describing the attack as a tragic event. The group said that the shelling primarily targeted a market inside the camp. The committee urged human rights organizations to ensure the necessary protection for displaced people in the Abu Shouk camp to stop bloodshed among civilians. The conflict between the Sudanese army and RSF, which began in mid-April 2023, has killed more than 20,000 people and displaced 14 million, according to the UN and local authorities. A study by US-based universities estimates the death toll to be approximately 130,000. UN human rights experts have called on Thailand to stop the deportation of 48 Uyghurs to China. The group has been detained in Thailand since 2014 after fleeing persecution in East Turkestan. The experts have warned that deportation would violate the international ban on refoulement, which prohibits returning people to places where they face torture or abuse. They highlighted severe health conditions amongst 23 detainees, urging immediate access to asylum and medical care. Uyghurs in Chinese-occupied East Turkestan face documented rights abuses, including mass detentions. The UN has called on Thailand to investigate detention conditions and release those held arbitrarily. Thailand has not signed the UN Refugee Convention and does not recognize refugees. However, reports suggest the deportation is not imminent, with Thai officials indicating they may reconsider. A report by Oxfam International reveals that Billionaire's wealth surged by $2 trillion in 2024, growing 3 times faster than in 2023. Their combined wealth climbed from 13 trillion to 15 trillion, with the number of billionaires rising to 2,769. The world's 10 richest men earn nearly $100 million daily on average. Even losing 99% of their wealth, they would still remain billionaires. Oxfam predicts at least 5 trillionaires will emerge within the next decade. This wealth boom starkly contrasts with stagnant poverty levels worldwide. Oxfam report calls this modern-day colonialism, as wealth continues to flow from poorer to richer nations, often linked to historical exploitation. The report urges governments to tackle inequality by taxing the wealthy, abolishing tax havens, and ending wealth transfers from the global south to the global north. That's all from our Washington, D.C. studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News. We're a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum.